guys, hope you're doing good today. Just wanted to do a part 2 to the VR to Feeding My Soul 1212. This is Show Us Your Decks Again, part 2, with 15 more prompts. So let's jump in. This was a lot of fun, and I hope to see others doing this tag as well. So prompt 1 is a deck with a quote on the inside of the box. I have several of these. I wanted to grab one that might be different. So I have picked the Kalat Cards. These are actually beautiful, quite different. Pull this out. First of all, here is the quote. There in the distance, everything is so clear to me. Beautifully done. These are smaller cards, but the artwork is absolutely beautiful. It's a different kind of system, these Kalat cards. There's a Facebook group where the creators can help you learn it. It's not that difficult. There's the back. They fit in your hands really nice. Have to say, I haven't used it that much yet. It's on my to be played with pile. But with the quote, I thought instantly of this box because it was so pretty. So I thought I would share this one. So to me, the cards are very intuitive to see the message. Let me show you the guidebook. Lovely ocean picture there. Beautiful little puppy. Nice matte feel to them. There's the one that's on the cover with the cardinal flying away. So, you know, beautiful artwork. Here's the guidebook. The map on it, and kind of explains the system. There are seasons, and then it starts to go into clock, bridge, queen. For example, this is crossroads. Describes what you're seeing, keywords, and over here it's telling you about the symbols that are on the card and what it could mean with other cards in the deck next to it, which is very handy. No images of the cards in there, just a couple little drawings. But it is a nice, thick guidebook. Talking about spreads in the back. See, so it can get a little complicated, but as with anything, there's always, you know, learning curve, and then it's easy enough to use. So this is actually one I look forward to diving into. Okay, prompt 2, a damaged box or card. I only have a couple of these, but again, I wanted to pick something different. So I picked this one, big, heavy, chunky thing. It is the Way of the Horse, obviously equine, horse related. 40 cards and a beautiful book. Now, I want to say I got it on Amazon, so, you know, I guess I got what I deserve because Amazon just really smashed up this box. Didn't, you know, do a lot to the book, but as you can see, it kind of crumpled in here where the cards are stored, and there's that lovely book. The book luckily wasn't damaged. It opens up like this, and the book, see if I can get it out. Oops, I'm just damaging it more. There we go. There we go. The book, again, is a lovely cloth bound and is extremely detailed. It is so nice. This is one you can really dive into for each card. No image of the card, but I mean, this is an actual, you know, hardback book, and the page texture is lovely. It really is. Tells you about the card. It tells you descriptions, challenges, along your journey in life, what it means, and then related wisdom, so related images. Let me show you those. Pops right out with the ribbon, and it's in a little box. Okay. There we go. These always give me grief because, as you can see here, see the little tear? I always end up doing that. I know I should probably get like a letter opener to do it, but I'm impatient. There we go. So pull these out. There's 40 of them. And I love horses. I love all animals, but horses are magical, and that's why I have this. There is a 1-hour movie on this also, The Way of the Horse. I have it saved to my watch later on YouTube, but it is related to this. So if you love horses, this is definitely one to check out. It's just lovely. And they're not all just portraits. Some of them are, you know, beautiful. Look at this one with the lion running. Beautiful. This is on the cover. See the frost or steam coming out of it? Look at this. The lightning is shaping the horse. Here's this one. Some people, you know, they don't like landscape versus portrait. I don't mind. It gives me much more of an image to see. Clouds. This one is the horses in the waves. So not all of them are just, you know, a horse in a field. But it's one that was damaged for my prompt, and luckily, it's one of my favorites. Luckily, the cards and the book were not damaged by the delivery driver. So thank goodness for that. All right, we will move on now. Prompt number 3, one or several rename cards in the deck. So you would have seen this one, this deck, in part 1 just because of the box in a box method for this to get it out. It's awful. And again, this one was damaged, so that would have qualified too. But this one has the, almost all of the cards are renamed in the majors. And the court cards are renamed as well. So as you can see, this is the Fool, it's the Trickster, Messenger of Magic, Knower of Secrets, Earth Mother. I mean, they're pretty, you know, pretty easy to understand, especially with the number there in the image. Hierophant. And there's our Strength. Hermit. So it goes on. Okay, so here we have the coins or pentacles renamed to fossils. So we have the Ace, and let me go to the court cards. So here we have the Page is the Seer. The Knight is the Seeker. Queen is Nurturer. And then King is Guardian. There's no other symbol to tell you what it is, so I guess you would rely on your memory. Cups are shells. Swords are feathers. And finally, wands are branches. Personally, I'm not a fan of, renaming them. I guess if I absolutely loved this deck, I would take the time, memorize it, wouldn't be a problem. But, this is kind of, not only with the box and the hassle and everything and the renaming, I think this might go into purgatory. So, and the cardstock is a little thin. I love the artwork, but the artwork is just about it. So that is that one. Let's move to the next. Okay, a deck with a reversible back. That would be Tarot of Haunted House. This one is one that I will use in October, right around then, just because of the theme, obviously. Little, mini guidebook here. Doesn't really have a lot, but this is, I think, Sasha Graham, who I love her writing. I love how she describes things. She wanted something that was, kind of, I guess like the old 50s horror movies kind of thing. And that's why she's, in her evening gown. And there's a nod to several things in the deck. There's the Fool, obviously on the cover. Now, here's the back. And that back is reversible. See, this way. And then we flip it around. And there it is, that way. So fully reversible. It's a great deck. And again, I use it around Halloween time just because, the spooky vibes. There's that, Art Deco film noir theme. This one's kind of a nod to The Exorcist. It's a fun deck. This is an interesting strength card because she is, in a mirror. She's finding the strength in herself. That was pretty cool. Pretty neat idea. So, yeah, this one reminded me of Nurse Ratched. So if you're a, kind of a Halloween fan, which I am, you'd enjoy this. And in the guidebook, which I kind of showed you briefly, it tells a story all the way throughout. So it's not very, a lengthy description, but it does tell you little snippets of the story, how she makes her way, through all of this scary stuff and fights her way out of the cult, I believe she finds a little girl or someone and saves them. Neat little merry-go-round there. The court cards are really neat in this too, I think. She did a great job identifying them. This one is a obvious one that some people don't like. And the swords. There we go. A little stormy night for you. So, yeah, this is a really neat deck. There's your King of Swords there. There's The Shining. Everybody recognize that one right away? Creepy doll as well. This is the, a nod to the like Godzilla type creature movies, creature features. Anybody remembers those? But yeah, it's a fun deck. And it was my deck for having fully reversible backs. All right, moving on. A deck with a star on the box. I have picked the Last Unicorn because there are stars right along the top there. There's even a shooting star behind her, if you can see it. This deck I got off of the seller's site. It was after the Kickstarter. because I love the movie. I love the book by Peter S. Beagle. Love the book. So I wanted to have it, not necessarily to use it, but to have it for the artwork, because to me, I have a small collection of tarot decks that are strictly for the artwork. I don't use them. I look at them. I enjoy the art, but I don't use them as tarot necessarily. So this one, I think it came with a collector's wooden box, and the Kickstarter is gorgeous. But here's the back, and has this lovely gilding. It's just a beautiful deck. You can see all the colors here. And if you know the movie, there she is, beautiful. Every character here will, you know, kind of ring a bell with you. Every scene. And of course, you know, the music from the movie was by America. And the cups here. It's the Ace of Swords. It was just beautifully done. So I wanted to have it as, you know, part of my collection. Look at this Eight of Swords. The moon and the unicorn. She's reaching out to herself. Remember the door lock, or the lock on the cage. Everyone remembers that. Some magician. And this poor witch, boy, she gets something awful, doesn't she? Boy. Yeah, it brings back memories, brings a smile. It's just a lovely deck. So it's, again, one I don't use, but I really enjoy it. So that is my deck with the star on the box. Okay, a deck with no or few people in the minors. That is the Tarot Emblemata. And I saw this actually on Lisa Papa's channel, and I was definitely tempted. I was just intrigued by the meaning behind it. So here's the guidebook. No pictures, but it does give you little descriptions in there. And what it is it has a coat of arms and symbols and Latin that it also transcribes for you, so you can, you know, see the meaning. For example, here's the Fool. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the Latin here, so you could do it mentally. But fortune favors the bold, and this is the symbol. And master skills through great labor and diligence for the magician. It's just a very cool take. She obtaineth whatever she desireth for the Empress. So you can see, you know, it's not necessarily humans everywhere, but... So it asks about people in the minors. Let's skip ahead. All right. So let's look. We've got 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands. There's 5. Force that cannot be overcome with force. 6 of Wands. Victory to those who overcome. So yeah, you can see there's hardly any people in here. Obviously the first one did, but that's Murphy's Law, isn't it? The first one I open up, you'll see a person. 9 of Wands. There's 10 of Wands. So here's our page. No human. Knight. No human, just the helmet. Our Queen has the crown. And our King. A dragon. I nourish and I extinguish. So pretty cool, isn't it? I haven't used it that much yet. It's in one that, you know, to be learned kind of. You know, I guess this is what happens when you have a lot of decks, and that's why I'm narrowing them down, because I want to just use the ones I love. But this, I think, is just very cool to have by the Latin and the, you know, the symbols that they've done for it with the emblems. So that is my little to no people in the minors. Okay, number 7, a deck that doesn't have a person in the Fool card. I do have a few of those as well, but I wanted to use this one. And it is the Tarot Renard. Now, I know some people could say, well, that's an animal deck, you're cheating, but technically it's not a person, right? So this is just a lovely deck. Here's the box. It's a beautiful box, just gorgeous. And doesn't really have a guidebook. It just has a few cards here, you know, with the meanings on them so you can read them. But here's the Fool. So no person, but we have a fox and a little mouse. Look at that mouse. Can you see that? With this little knapsack, and the fox has a scarf. Just beautiful. And these are actual watercolor paintings from the author. So no words. It's just you'll see a number at the bottom for the majors, but to me they're, you know, very self-explanatory. There's, you know, High Priestess, Empress. Artwork is just beautiful for this. So I'm going to skip ahead for you. There's our Hangman. Tower, Sun card, and there's a little mouse instead of a baby in our world. Lovely. And the minors, you can see at the very bottom here, we've got a 6 and a little pentacle there. So that's how she has labeled them. The court cards were a struggle at first, simply because of the French term for knight. This is our page of coins here. And here she's got the knight or cavalier, right? Knight of coins. There's the queen. And here is the king. So just a lovely, lovely, lovely deck. Can't say enough. One thing I will say, if you've noticed, is the cards, even though they're kept securely in the box, are definitely bent. So that is not good. But anyway, that is the deck with no person on the Fool card. Prompt 8, a deck with your favorite box design. I happen to love books and tarot, so that is obviously, for me, the literary tarot box. This is a hard, looks like a book. Look at the top, looks like a book. See the little bookmark still. The side has a little, you know, locket like the old diaries used to have. Looks like it carries over there. This is just a great box design. I love it. There's a ribbon there. There's a magnet open. This was a Kickstarter for the Literary Tarot. And proceeds went toward the nonprofit to help people read for literacy projects. So, you know, good cause. This is the book. I have the hardback too because I did the Kickstarter. It's a big hardback with full color pictures and explanations. It was a deck that they grabbed a whole bunch of celebrities, authors, you know, brainiacs, and had them all do artwork for a card and the detail. Like this one, example, this one is the Iliad by Homer and with Stephen Fry. And to me, you know, that's pretty cool. I know there's one in here with Brandon Sanderson, which is one of my favorite authors lately. He's just cranking them out. But there's many authors in here. Now, one thing I do know is they changed the Seven of Light and Page of Ink. And a lot of people had a problem with that. They didn't understand, and they would say why in, the question and answer on Kickstarter, but people still didn't really like that. Now notice I've got a little lift here showing, but it is gilded. It's a lovely deck. There's the back. So Don Quixote was the fool. There's the Monkey King. I won't go through all of them, but a lot of them are very recognizable as you go through the book and read about them. And if you don't, then you learn something new, a little story. And there's Dracula. If you like to read, then it should pique your interest and go on and read the story of it. So, Page of Ink, it's the Queen, Seven of Light. Look at that little donkey, too cute. So yeah, here we go, the Literacy Tarot. And everyone was glad when it came out on Kickstarter because, as you know, sometimes they don't. But this was a fantastic package, and I just loved the idea that the box is a hardcover book that you would put on your shelf. Okay, prompt 9. A deck you've made a 180-degree turnaround. Either you anticipated and it fell flat, or lukewarm and you fell in love. Well, this one is the Cosmic Seeker, and it also was a Kickstarter. And it, gosh, I'm trying to remember when it first came out on Kickstarter. I want to say it was 2020. I don't remember. But it took years to get done. I literally just got this a couple months ago, and it's 2025. The author had some difficulties and had a child, which took a lot of her time, but she did get it done. So here it is. And the guidebook is very thorough, no pictures. The cards, as she drew them one by one. It was just stunning artwork. She's extremely talented. And we all saw them. We all loved them. We were, bated breath, just couldn't wait to get these in our hot little hands. And it came, and I started looking at it. I reviewed it on my channel, started using it. Fell flat, unfortunately. Beautiful outline here. Her artwork is, again, spectacular. She hand drew them. But to me, it just, it fell flat. I just, I didn't really like a lot of the name changes as well. I love lions. Love the winged stag, of course. There are a few cards I absolutely love. She gave 3 lovers cards, which was wonderful. The hero for the chariot. The guide for strength. To me, that one was very, very dark. I don't know what that is. The hermit is beautiful. And back when we, launched the Kickstarter, we only had a few to go on. We didn't have all of them. I've seen other people comment that they enjoy it. They loved it. It was worth the wait. And I'm happy. I am happy for that. We can't always, bond with the deck when we get it. Great tower card. But again, some of them, I don't know, beautiful. The world, the tribe. So here we go into the minors. Pentacles. 2. There's the 4 of Pentacles. 6. 7 of Pentacles. 8. A lot of people use the spider for that. This is the 9 of Pentacles. 10. Here's the page. Guardian, which is the Knight, Queen, and the King. Some of them just seem almost like a different theme to me than, you know, to me it's not always cohesive on what they all are. Some of the characters look like they're from maybe a different story, or a page is from a different theme. What, like the 78 tarots, where maybe a different author has done something. But that is just me and my personal taste. All in all, it's a lovely deck, but some of them just didn't jive with me. Two of Wands. Here's the Four of Wands. Five. See, this definitely makes sense. Five of Wands. A conflict. Six of Wands. Love the dragons here. Eight of Wands incoming here. There's the 10 of Wands. So, yeah, I didn't plan to make this about this whole deck. Sorry, I just wanted to show you some of the artwork. Interesting that the Six of Swords, they use a sunken boat. But anyway, that was the one that, unfortunately, I loved what I saw on Kickstarter, waited a few years, and it just didn't connect. All right, prompt 10, deck with an even major on the box, like the High Priestess or the Emperor, Lovers, Strength, etc. Okay, this is the Tarot of Pagan Cats. You'll see this a lot with me. I've mentioned it a lot because I just love this deck. This is the High Priestess on the cover. And even though this is in a little tiny tuck box, this little deck packs a punch. And you'll find a lot of people will tell you that, yes, this deck really is a great little deck. And often struggling times, or, you know, if I need an answer, or I don't know, during the pandemic, my husband and I moved across country, and I had to pack everything except this. And this little deck helped me through all that. So here's the little guidebook, which, as you can see, is, you know, it's very, very tiny. Typical, you know, low Scarabeo, you know, tiny little descriptions there. However, the Rider-Waite-Smith artwork is, you can read it easily. So here's again the top card, and again that's the High Priestess on the cover. Again, there's the backs, which are reversible. And this little deck is just amazing to me. It just is. It's reliable. It's concise. It gives answers, and you know, it's not cutesy. It's blunt, but yeah, it's everything I could want. It's one of my all-time favorites. So when I saw, you know, the prompt for an even major on the cover, I definitely thought of the High Priestess here. So yeah, great deck. Highly recommend. You don't have to be a cat person because it is Rider-Waite-Smith. You can tell that's Five of Pentacles right there. There we go. So Tarot of Pagan Cats and High Priestess on the cover. So let's keep going. All right, prompt 11, a deck on your shelf with the box title facing the opposite direction from the others. So let me take you over to my shelf. Okay, so a deck on your shelf with the box title facing opposite direction from the others. So we've already used that shelf above for the 13th one, so let's use this middle one. So looking at them, the first thing that stands out to me would be this one, Tarot of Vampires. So let's take a look at that. All right, so I dug it out, And here it is. It is the Tarot of Vampires. You will hear many people say, even if this artwork or goth isn't your style or vampires isn't your style, that the guidebook is worth it. And I have to attest that they're absolutely right. Now, because of the theme, I use this on Halloween. I split this 2 weeks with the Tarot of Haunted House, and then closer to Halloween, 2 weeks of Tarot of Vampires. But you could use it, you know, any other time of the year. This book is worth its weight in gold. It's a nice, thick, hefty book. But Ian Daniels writes things in here that is so descriptive. And at first, you know, long-winded, but, you know, look here. This is the Justice card, right? Starts here. Talks about the essence and message, full-out message about what it is. Keeps going all the way here. Analysis and symbolism. So he goes through all the symbols on the card in detail. Then he talks about the shadow part of the card. And that was just the Justice card. It's just, this book alone is worth having on your shelf just to read through and, you know, study to learn so much more than just a, you know, a cutesy little guidebook that comes with most of the decks. So definitely. The deck itself, here we go. Beautiful red rose there, and it is reversible. And here are the cards. And again, you know, these might not be to your taste, but using it around Halloween, kind of spooky season, kind of helps. Use it. And the book, again, is so good. Because I'm, as you know, Rider-Waite Smith girl, and these don't always follow that. However, when you see the image and you read the book, you understand the meaning behind the Six of Cups, you know, in Ian's description. So definitely well worth getting this deck to have, to study, to learn, and to use. Definitely recommend. So I'm glad that one happened to be backwards. It was a good choice, and I hope you agree. Okay, prompt 12, a lonely deck you don't store with your other decks or shelf. I know where that is. Let's take a little trip. Okay, so we've actually gone out to my car in the glove box. Near the tissue, the hand sanitizer, and gum is this poor lonely little deck. Okay, so I dug it out of the glove box of the car. Poor little thing, kept in this bag. This is probably one of the only pocket tarots I have, the White Sage Tarot. And it's in this little tin, so it's protected and safe, and, you know, the little bag kind of keeps it secure in there. This little guy, if I'm going somewhere on a trip, if I've forgotten to bring a deck, because he's so discreet, so small, or a long, you know, road trip or something, I can have this handy, just pull it out and I can use it. I love this little deck, the watercolor art. Here's the guidebook. Small but neat. Now, you'll notice there is a chakra mentioning here. Each card, the color, is associated with the chakras. So here we go. On this card, she's got the colors and the chakras. And then here's a spread, chakra energy rainbow spread. So you can use the deck that way as well. The watercolors, just beautiful. It is Pippi. This is probably one of the most and very, very few Pip decks I have. I'm not a Pip fan. However, I love the other images in here because, look at that. Just lovely. Queen of Pentacles. And even the pips are pretty easy to read. I mean, look at this one. 10 of Pentacles, all the sand dollars there. That's definitely abundance, right? And of course, all the chakras. That's why all the colors are there. This one, here's the Ace of Pentacles. So she has a beautiful ribbon, a pink ribbon running through here. And so you would look on here and see, you know, where is the color, match it up, and then you would know which particular chakra it lines up with. So 9 of Swords, that's definitely, look, it's wrapped up in anxiety and all the swords are stabbing at it. So it's a pip done very, very well, in my opinion. 2 of Cups. And because of its little travel size, it fits in the glove box, and I'll always have a deck there. Easy to use. Fits in the hand nicely, you know. That's on the cover. Love that Queen of Wands. So yeah, this was the White Sage Tarot, and that's the lonely deck that's not with any of the others. Okay, a deck you associate with the current season. It is currently spring, leaning towards summer. So you've got all the flowers out in full bloom, and the butterflies and the birds, and then the sun is starting to send its heat here. Lots of greenery. That, to me, reminds me of the Star Tarot, simply because of the colors and the flowers and the butterflies, and everything is just out in full force. Sadly, it's another little damaged box. This one, the artwork is just beautiful on this. She has done a beautiful job. Just for the artwork alone is, you know, reason to have this and add it to your collection. Nice big guidebook here. So you get a tiny little black and white thumbnail and a full explanation of the card here. Look how long that is. With these symbols, she talks about, you know, the different symbols. For example, on the Tower card, got a lightning bolt, spirits, volcano, comet, sun, dove, Mars. I love it when they explain these symbols that they have deliberately put on each card. This is an older version. There's a new one out, I believe, that is borderless. It's the full card. I think the texture is different too. I'm not sure. This one is the original. It is quite glossy, and it has borders. A lot of people don't like them, and a lot of people would actually trim it to fit, you know, so you could just see the image. I don't mind. I like the keywords. I like the numbers, and I don't mind, you know, I can just kind of close up on it. But look at the, you know, the flowers, the butterflies, the sunshine. It's just a beautiful summertime deck. So we've got rainbows on Temperance. We've got, you know, even the Devil card has rainbows. There's our world on the cover. Look at all those flowers, all the butterflies. It's just, you know, summer sun, butterflies, flowers. More flowers, more greenery. Sunflowers. Look at this Wands card here, the lion. That's wonderful. So yeah, when I thought, you know, a deck for the season, luckily it was summertime and I could pick this. Otherwise, you know, I guess if it were winter, maybe I'd pick the Runic, because the Runic Tarot is, they're all wearing furs, and there's, you know, ice and snow and it's cold. But this one definitely has summer vibes. Look at the Queen of Wands there. I love all the lions in the Wands suit. And then again, here's our ace. Look at that. We've got flowers, and even here, beautiful flowers in the hair, sparkling everywhere. gorgeous sunflowers, hummingbirds. Yeah, this one to me speaks about summertime. So that is the Star Tarot, and it was my deck of the season. Okay, number 14, deck in which your favorite animal makes an appearance. My favorite animal, that's a toughie. I love all animals. But I do in tarot favor the lion. So luckily for me, I also really like crows. So I picked this. I picked the Crow Tarot deck. I keep it in this bag. I have the book on another shelf, but this is an MJ book. This was the original Kickstarter one. It shortly came out mass market after this and looks a little bit different. This is a great deck because, oh my gosh, it's one of the first of this kind where you had the collage work. And she lived in, I believe she moved from Boston to Seattle, to the Pacific Northwest. So there are touches of Seattle in here. And I happen to be living in Seattle also, so I loved that dual aspect of it. But I use this deck for my year ahead spread and, you know, my monthly month ahead spread. So it's just beautiful and so easy to read. It's got crows throughout. Who doesn't love that? They're so sweet, they're cute, they're fun, they're really clever, and they bring you gifts, you know, that you can, if you feed them regularly, and, you know, they'll bring you little gifts. So here's the strength card, and it's got my favorite animal, the lion here with roses. The crow is standing there. There's also, if I can find it, horses in here, which I also love, with the crows. So we got horses and crows, beautiful poppies. And there's more lions in here too. There's another horse. So I've got horses, crows, lions. Oh my. But I love this deck. I have used it like mad. It's very accurate. There's another horse with the crow. I want to say there he is. We've got Queen of Wands, and I want to say the King also has lions on it. The moon. There's a wolf. So yeah, crows, horses, and lions, all combined in one beautiful, beautiful deck that is so easy to use. The guidebook is spectacular also, and you can get this mass market now. There's the King of Wands with the lion. So yeah, that has my favorite animals appearing in it. Last one coming up. Prompt 15, a deck with a rainbow either on the box or in the cards. At first I thought of the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, but that's kind of obvious. That's more like candy stripes and pastels. I don't really have a lot of other rainbows, but I did think of this, the Blooming Lovelies Oracle cards. Now, bear with me, there's only a couple cards in it that have rainbows, but they're rainbows nonetheless. If you don't have this, you should look it up, because when I first saw this, I don't remember who shared it on Zeppelin Moon, I thought at first the artwork really is not for me, but it's the messages on them. That's what got me. Here's the back, little narwhal. This is just a great pick-me-up. This one I use along with my daily draw. I'll just pull it, you know, for a mood of the day to kind of get me pepped up, and it does a spectacular job doing that. So here are a couple rainbows. Yeah, but not yeah. Your tale deserves to be told, and the spelling tale. What goes up must come down. This is just a charming deck. We, the cosmic, tumble down and ramble on to forge for stars, for they taste so sweet. Just great. Never did she turn around before some hearts did break. Look up, baby. It's all for you. Just great little sayings. Wonderful. So, yeah, especially this one. I will survive. Wonderful, wonderful deck. I think she sells it on Etsy. She has a tarot out too, but this one, I love it. I love this deck. So yeah, that's my rainbow. Even though, you know, there's only a few cards in there, they had rainbows. There was a runner-up, but honestly, it's kind of cheating because it was Radley Valentine's Fairy Tarot. And, you know, all the wings have rainbows. They're fairies. So naturally, there's the backs. In all the wings, I can't really find them right now, but there are a lot of wings in here that have rainbows in the color, especially as you move along to, say, springtime. You'll see the wings have rainbows in them. And, you know, I mean, they're beautiful, fairy. I'm probably rehoming this. There's a rainbow. Ta-da! Rainbow. I did a video on all the decks I have, as far as angel or fairy, and so I did a video and narrowed it down, but this one is definitely going to be rehomed because I don't want too many decks. So there's some rainbow in the wings there, rainbow in the wings there. Pretty, pretty artwork. So yeah, those are my rainbow decks, but definitely look up the Blooming Lovelies. It is charming. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.